Okay, what we're trying here is not to crowd the ornaments, and so the way to kind of remedy is to play those two measures that we just did, just like that, straight. Now you're going to use the finger that arrives on the E, which is what? It's going to be the thumb on the E, and it's going to be 2 on the D sharp, and then a 3 on the E, because that's what you used. You just added 1, 3, 1, right? To the ornament was 1, 3, 1. Right, and the destination note we know is the final half note. You're melting into that E, right? Right, so in your mind you're thinking of okay, so now play just the right hand without the ornament for those two measures, through those E, D sharp E's. Breathe. Much better. That was much better. Now when you add the ornament, I don't want it to be like, oh, you know, I'm crowding it now. You're still breathing through that, what, 2 measures? Okay, add the ornament now. Perfect. That was absolutely a beautiful ornament because it wasn't crowded. Okay, now, unfortunately, we have to add the left hand into the mix. Now, what you could do, what you could do though is play this fundamental beat. So that means the fundamental notes, just the G, like you did when you practiced it, and the C without the chords after it. So play the fundamental notes or the bass with what you just did before with the ornament. Just eliminate the chords after there. What was so beautiful about that is you really thought about, I'm resolving, which is what? Is the tonic of C major there, right? You went into that little dominant of C major, we know that. And you really, really dipped it down. It's very nice. So you don't want to change that. Now add the ornament with the same thing, only add the ornament in, but still do the fundamental bass with the melody, but add the ornament. You play the E with the C. Yes. And then it continues, and then 100%. Now the only thing that remains is the afterbeat chords. And now you really do have to add them because that's the most important thing now is to add all the dimensions of it. Okay, so let's go slowly with the, no pedal yet. Don't put the pedal in yet, okay? Big thing you have to remember is going from the the first measure to the ornament is completely seamless. The other tiny thing is that the quarter notes in the left hand have to be held through 2 eighth notes in the right. So this time when you do it, make sure you're dragging this, still holding, right? And then you're going still holding. I distorted it just to show you that you can't let go of quarter notes until they have 2 eighth notes through them. That's through the whole piece, right? Okay. Okay. But this time you're going to go really just steadily to do that. That last E is dissolving. It's the one you want to go to, but through a dissolution, through a melt out. That last E is just fading with the wind. If I ever get like crowding notes of anything, what I try to do is I try to stretch out my ornament so that when it does go into tempo, I have the mindset and the mood set that I won't try to crowd it. So in slow motion, I go to the other extreme of going, because you're in slow tempo now. You're backing into a slow tempo to spot practice. And then you're going to let yourself go a little bit now into the tempo of the desirable one that you're in right now. It's still not the one we're going to finalize. But now you want to not sacrifice anything just because you're going in a little bit forward in your tempo. Okay? So then you're going to go, we haven't added the pedal yet, but okay, now add the pedal. Breathe. Yeah, it's if anything, all these ornaments, I don't want you to swallow them up. Okay. Now when everything goes fast, it's going to incrementally, proportionately continue, but it's still never going to sound like you're getting anxious or swallowing up the ornaments. Because whatever you do in slow motion shouldn't change in fast motion in terms of how you're breathing regularly and expressively. You're always breathing expressively through your music. That's the main point that we're doing. And now the sequences are the other one. That's the other one we got to be really careful. You know the sequence where it comes down in 34, 35, and 36.
Yeah.
There's a tendency in 35 and 36 for the last third beat to rush into the next ornament.
Right.
So there again, you got to stretch out your breathing. And let's go back here now, where we the climax. On the beat here, on the beat, right here, on the beat here, yeah, on the beat, yeah, the climax. That would be the climax, and it's a horizontal traction there. Yeah. So let's see how even. Yeah. By the way, that's a little rotation. Look at the rotation. Yeah, rotation. Because we don't want to get this finger, this finger digitized kind of ornament. We want
rotation.
Yeah, it's just like that. Seamless. Yeah, a lot of very seamlessly.
Yeah, you know what I find in the ornaments, because I'm anxious about them, my hand goes stiff.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying.
I lose the rotation, I lose...
You know what you should do every day? Watch. And I think I did this with this. I said, just because we were doing a trill, and this is just short of the trill goes many more repercussions, right? This is just up and back. But I would practice a lot of da 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 da. That loosens you up. And da 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 da. I'm watching myself. Every single ornament that you have, I want you to just like prolong, just but the side to side, the rotation. That's all it is rotation. So that you're using the wrist and the arm is hanging behind it, is hanging. It's always hanging. Your arm is funneling the energy. But you just, as slow as you can do it. Don't try to go fast. Yeah. It's like turning a door. You're turning a door, right? Only you can say, I'm just turning the door, shallow turning the door, not like that. Just a little turn of the door. Right, and now some of them have different fingers. Like this one is 3-4-3 and measure 36 is 3-4-3. Yeah. First thing, you know what I do first? I want the dead weight to know where I'm going to be geographically on that ornament. Right. I know, okay, I'm hanging from there. Now I'm just going to do my rotation. I'm still thinking it's one plane, by the way. I'm still thinking I'm on one plane even though I'm doing this. You know that? I'm not thinking deeper, higher. Am I? No. I'm just rotating. Yeah. If you do that enough times, and when you get to just doing da-da-da, you already have activated, your brain will have activated just the effortless da-da-da, da-da-da, like this. Instead of, because that'll kill you.
So in the next ornament that's 3,
all of them.
4,
yeah, you practice the fingers.
Same plane.
Exactly. Find the plane, find the dead weight plane, that's like your center of gravity, and then do this rolling side to side slightly, this rotation. Gotta practice all the finger choices you have here. Yeah. You have the 1-3-1 for measure 35. You have the 3-4-3. Then you go to all of them and individuate them. Because you want to train your mind and body into what you're physically and musically trying to accomplish. Then you have another one here, and let's see, 35, 36, 38. And 38, it's 3-2-3. Here is the principal note, step above it, and back, right? These ornaments are all principal note, step above, and come back. So far you have 3 choices. You have this one, the next one, with 3-4, with changing fingers, and then the third one, 2-3, 2-3, 2, right? See? This is what I'm practicing. Practicing relaxation and rotation. Exactly. Yeah. So the first thing you did was you went, I'll play them together, get my dead weight balance over the 2 notes, and then I'll just do a very little bit of this rotation side, rolling side to side rotation. Good. Breathe. 3 and breathe. Breathe. Rotate. Good. These are wonderful now. Yeah. well, you did that already.
I was circling around.
Right, it's getting a lot better. And the other thing you want to think about is that the ornaments are none of the fingers are accented. Get them clear, silky, unrotated, and very relaxed. Remember, the vocal model is Chopin has the vocal model in this piece. This is all vocalized. Yeah, and if you hear anything sticking out on that ornament, you know that you're trying to do too much finger action, as opposed to what? Rotation, alternation, and you have the hanging arm always behind your hand.
Okay.
Now at the very end, one of the hard things is to do that trill at the end, right? Now show me what would be like a codetta. That means there's one line at the bottom that is that's not like anything else you've done, correct?
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of how am I going to contour that last line. To lead into it with where the theme comes back finally with now what happens here, this is just right? Look what I do. You see what I'm doing? We're going to go F, E, F, E, F, E, D sharp. No, just up the upper neighbor. We need the upper neighbor.
We start on that?
Yes, 3, 1, 3, 1. Yeah, because when you use the upper neighbor, it flows very easily into the D sharp. Now remember, the best way to do this is to do it without the ornament like this. Right? That's what you hear, right?
On the beat. Yeah.
Of course. It's just like a little shortened form of the loop around. Yeah, you got to practice it first without the ornament, so you know how you're contouring the melody. Yes, did you hear what you just did? That's the shape of it. Now, just because you add the ornament doesn't mean you're disrupting the shape of the line under the ornament that's being decorated, the notes. The thing about playing piano is we really want to know what we want to hear before you do it. So you don't do a lot of repetitions, that way you're hearing things you don't want to actually hear when you actually, practice it. You want to practice what you want to hear. You don't want to exaggerate. Exactly. I want you to preserve what you just did now. And F, E, F, E, and then that's the decoration. F, E, F, E.
F, E, F, E. Okay.
Yeah. Loop. Yeah, why should that be a big deal? Now when you do that, you're doing this. The rotation. Start with the upper one. 3, 1, 3, 1. 3, 1. Right. Now what's happening in the left hand is you have a downbeat on the E, and so right away, right. So you have to think differently. You have to think, this is springboarding into, but ultimately, that's my destination, at least my loop around, but this is my ultimate destination, of course, the C. And on the principal note, you're going to practice a slow trill with this rotation back and forth, just to get this going. Exactly, you want it to think swimming through something thick, like honey. Because it's like I'm swimming through something very thick, like honey. The piano is honey, and I'm just waiting. Yeah. I can do anything with my hands. I can do it this way, I can do it sideways, but it's slow and it's kind of a rolling. That's better. That sounds better, much better. That's great. Right. Now that was pretty good. And what I would do is I'd do a lot of measured trill. Did we decide to do 7? Did that we decide, or less? Okay, 5 is fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.